The Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark.
I want to say this. I think Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play.
Indiana Fever being a more dangerous team with Carolyn Peck.
Say the Indiana Felines are better without Caitlin Clark?
Without Caitlin Clark, this team is much better.
They said it out loud this time on national TV. The Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark.
Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play.
Why ESPN continues to butcher the cash cow. How in the hell are they possibly better without her? How would the WNBA be better off without her? I don't understand.
That statement came straight from ESPN analyst Carolyn Peck, and it's triggered a wave of outrage that refuses to die down.
Carolyn Peck, what do we have to say about the Indiana Fever being a more dangerous team without Caitlin Clark?
The face of the WNBA, the rookie responsible for record-breaking viewership, packed arenas, and skyrocketing jersey sales, is now being targeted by the very network profiting off her rise.
ESPN is all about agenda, and I'm going to tell you why. It's the very same network that I have sat back, listened to them ramrod how great Angel Reese is down people's throats.
ESPN just found themselves in a heap of trouble after Karen Peck backtracks what she said about Caitlin Clark.
Not only is ESPN pushing the idea that the Fever are better without her, they're amplifying it, doubling down, and giving airtime to a narrative that fans know is pure fiction. And now there's growing speculation that this isn't just bad analysis.
The Dump finally has a star that people want to watch. They finally have someone capable of generating interest. Broadcast rights for the WNBA are extremely cheap. ESPN is making millions of dollars off of this league right now. And what do they continue to do?
It's an orchestrated push to force Caitlin Clark out of the spotlight, or even out of the system entirely.
Crazy to me, once again, go back to my theory. I think that Stephanie White is trying to take the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands, bro.
Because if ESPN's tone keeps this up and the Fever keep feeding into it, this isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about control. It didn't take long for the clip to go viral. ESPN's Carolyn Peck, a former coach and national champion, went on air and said the quiet part out loud. The Indiana Fever actually look more dangerous without Caitlin Clark on the floor.
I did not say Caitlin Clark is not valuable. She's a great player for those who only see Caitlin.
The Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. That is a Carolyn Peck quote.
Just like that, the narrative shifted. This wasn't just a hot take. It was a carefully crafted message on the largest sports media platform in the world. And it hit hard. Because behind those words is an implication that's spreading fast. Caitlin Clark is the problem.
What she say? I'm not saying Caitlin is invaluable, but for those who only see Caitlin, for her to just throw that in there and kind of like only see Caitlin, basically call out Caitlin Clark fans, not right, bro. As an ESPN reporter.
Let's be clear. Clark is the player who single-handedly catapulted the WNBA into mainstream conversation.
The Indiana Fever need Caitlin Clark to win games. The Indiana Fever suck. They're nothing without Caitlin. And the Caitlin Clark fans would rather see the Indiana Fever lose without Caitlin because it proves that Caitlin is good.
The Fever went from a bottom-tier franchise to national television every week. Games featuring Clark are setting viewership records, ticket sales are through the roof, and merchandise with her name is flying off shelves.
Clark has appeared in 9 games this season and is averaging 18.2 across 33 minutes per game.
She's the biggest draw by far this league has ever had. She has put this league on the national map in ways it's never been.
Yet now ESPN is subtly suggesting that the team she revived, might be better off without her. That's not commentary. That's a campaign.
Ken Swift, all over it, man. All over it. We have Carolyn Peck back at it. Once again, with the nonsense, trying to spread the narrative that now the Indiana Fever don't even need Caitlin Clark.
It starts small. Phrases like offensive rhythm without Caitlin, spacing improves in her absence, or they play freer when she's out. But these are more than basketball opinions. These are sound bites built to discredit. They tell the casual viewer that Clark is slowing the team down, that she's not adjusting, that maybe, just maybe, she doesn't belong.
The Indiana Fever, with and without Caitlin Clark. First 4 games of the season, net rating 11.9. Without Caitlin Clark, net rating drops to 2.6. Ooh.
And when that idea comes from ESPN, it spreads fast. And that's where the damage begins. Because now it's not just social media trolls pushing this narrative, it's the network with the most influence over the WNBA's public perception.
It's because they got an agenda. Let's just be real. It's a woke network and they hate straight white women. It's out. I said it out loud.
And the worst part? The Fever aren't pushing back. They're allowing it. Stephanie White hasn't stepped up to defend her star. The organization hasn't corrected the record. Instead, they're slowly reshaping the system. Less ball in Clark's hands, fewer design plays, less control.
Stephanie White currently works for ESPN part-time when she's not coaching the Indiana Fever basketball team.
It's as if ESPN's words are being echoed in the Fever's playbook. The message is loud and clear. Keep the team quiet, let the ratings roll in, and sideline the one player making all of it happen.
They wouldn't have even came close to beating the Liberty without Caitlin Clark. They wouldn't even have came close to beating the Dream without Caitlin Clark. Did you see what happened? Did you not see what happened earlier?
This isn't basketball strategy anymore. It's media manipulation, and Caitlin Clark is the target. What makes this situation even more alarming is how coordinated it now feels. From the national media desk to the coaching staff's rotations, the message is aligning. Caitlin Clark doesn't belong at the center of the Fever system, and that's not just strange, it's strategic.
They continue diminishing the only player that people care about. Broadcast rights for the WNBA are extremely cheap. ESPN is making millions of dollars off of this league right now. And what do they continue to do?
Let's look at the pattern. It started with ESPN commentators subtly suggesting that Clark was being overhyped. Then came the suggestion that her teammates played more freely without her. Then fans began noticing that during key fourth quarter moments, Clark was being benched, frozen out of the offense, or used as a decoy. The woman who led Iowa in clutch scoring, who broke viewership records with every performance, is now being told to stand in the corner and learn the system.
You know, it's a different group. While system might still be very similar, it's a different group.
Then came the games where Clark was sidelined with injury. And sure enough, ESPN seized the opportunity to paint the Fever's occasional success.
The team received tough news Friday afternoon. Star guard Caitlin Clark was ruled out again for Saturday with a lingering groin injury.
Is that I have to wonder, did this team bring her back too soon from the quad injury that then turned into this?
Without her as proof that maybe she was the issue all along. Never mind the fact that the opposing teams were weaker. Never mind the absence of defensive pressure without her on the floor. None of the context mattered, only the narrative. That's how media manipulation works.
Stephanie White did talk about Caitlin Clark's injury.
Patient that you might be available tomorrow.
Well, we went through semi-live shooting drills. I mean, it wasn't really live; it was semi-live shooting drills. Still hasn't gone full speed in a practice or a live defensive group, but she's been getting some 3-on-3 work, on her own. So, I think the biggest thing is, she's stated she's not a fan of minutes restrictions. If there's going to be a minutes restriction, maybe we'll hold her another game. But it's evaluating her again in the morning, seeing what she's done with, however many days there have been of more loading, and make a decision from there. But again, I prioritize the long-term, her long-term health and wellness and making sure that when she comes back, she's 100%.
It starts with repetition. ESPN says it, fans echo it, social media spins it, and suddenly it becomes common belief that the player responsible for the league's entire rise in popularity is holding her team back.
Now, this same person, right? This same person said that Angel Reese was a better rookie than Caitlin Clark. I guess they were saying at this moment.
And while all this is happening, the Fever are doing nothing to stop it. Stephanie White continues to play it safe with coach speak. We're building structure. She's learning to be part of the group. What she's not doing, backing her superstar publicly, reaffirming that the offense runs through Caitlin.
If you take out the last 3 games that Caitlin Clark was clearly playing injured with her groin strap taped up, Her averages on the season are 21.5 points and 9.5 assists and 6 boards.
Demanding protection from officials or media critics. Instead, the silence feels like compliance, and fans are starting to believe that this is more than just coaching. It's a subtle erasure. Because let's face it, the WNBA wants Caitlin Clark's money, her media power, and her fan base.
First stint with Caitlin Clark, when it comes to plus and minus, the team is a plus 9.3. And then without Caitlin Clark for the next 5 games, only positive 1.8. Oof.
But they don't want her voice, her style, or her leadership. They want her to show up, stay quiet, take the hits, and smile for the cameras. And now, with ESPN fanning the flames and the Fever shrinking her role, the setup couldn't be clearer. Caitlin Clark is being used and slowly pushed out at the same time.
They ranked the Rue from Waterloo as the 9th best guard in the league, not the 9th best player, which would still be blasphemous. WNBA Dump Divers ranked Caitlin Clark as the 9th best guard in the league.
And if that doesn't sound like an agenda, what else could it be? Now, the consequences of this coordinated media and management narrative are beginning to spill into every corner of the WNBA, and fans are no longer staying silent. Across social media, hashtags like #ProtectCaitlin and #LetHerPlay are trending daily. Commentators are being called out. Videos comparing Clark's reduced minutes and muted role are going viral.
I believe as long as they're running this motion offense, she can disguise it in sets all she wants. Caitlin Clark is going to struggle. It's just my theory. I believe when she come back, she might have 1 or 2 games where she's just electrifying, and after that, it's going to be back to what we're seeing, and that was her struggling from 3, her struggling to find her shot. It's just unfortunate, but it's not Caitlin Clark. It's the system that she's in.
And most importantly, fans are demanding answers, not just from ESPN, but from the Fever organization itself. Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark was never just another rookie. She's a generational talent who walked into a league starving for attention and delivered it on a silver platter.
Because I bet you any amount of money, when Caitlin comes back, they're going to be, Caitlin, see, our system do work. Pass the ball. You don't need to be ball dominant all the time. We was winning games without you having the ball. That's what Stephanie White's going to tell.
She didn't just raise viewership. She changed the business model. She's the reason the WNBA is getting front page coverage, primetime slots, and historic sponsorship deals.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. This is great news for women's basketball, period.
Yet now the very ecosystem built on her name is trying to erase her influence, one play, one segment, one narrative at a time. And here's where it gets dangerous. This isn't just a storyline, it's a message to every young athlete watching. That even if you break records, bring money, bring fans, and carry the league on your back, you'll still be reduced if you don't fit the system.
We were at that game just now. Look, the Fever have been on a tear. They've won 2 in a row, a 25-point blowout of the Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup final, and then 27 against the Aces in this one. And both of those games without Caitlin Clark. How is Indiana getting this done right now?
Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many weapons. And Kelsey Mitchell is playing out of her mind. Right. Aaliyah Boston, I talked to Stephanie White before the game. She said in year 1,
if you shine too bright, the media will dim your light. If you speak too loud, the machine will push you back into the box.
The leadership of the WNBA. How could you not be prepared for this moment? You've seen it happening in the Big Ten. You've seen it in Iowa. You see these TV ratings. 4 million more, as I said, watching the women than the men. I think it's worth repeating a few times because it is such a stunning statistic, guys.
Meanwhile, ESPN continues to push the idea that the Fever play better without Clark, conveniently ignoring the fact that when Clark is in control, the team plays faster, scores more efficiently, and draws the best defenders from every opposing squad.
Caitlin Clark in those 3 games, net rating at 11, net rating at 5.5 in 5 games with Caitlin Clark when she returned from her quad injury that has not yet healed and still hasn't healed, and then it goes up to 11.
They're 4-5 against the worst teams in the league without Caitlin Clark. And they're 5-4 against the best teams in the league with Caitlin Clark. Like, what are we doing?
Her passing unlocks Aaliyah Boston. Her range spreads the floor. Her IQ controls tempo. There's no metric where Indiana is genuinely better without her. Only manipulated optics. And that's the playbook. Let ESPN shape the perception. Let the coaching staff pull back her role.
It's all about a basketball player who happens to be a woman. We'd never seen anything like that before.
Let the silence drown out her impact. But fans are waking up, and they're angry.
The Dump finally has a star that people want to watch. They finally have someone capable of generating interest. Broadcast rights for the WNBA are extremely cheap. ESPN is making millions of dollars off of this league right now.
Because they know what they're watching isn't basketball. It's politics. It's jealousy. It's fear of change. And it's punishing the very player who has given this league its most iconic season in history.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
Caitlin Clark didn't ask for this war, but now she's in it. And millions are standing behind her because they know what this really is, a fight to protect the future of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark built the spotlight, and now they're trying to push her out of it.
Guys, that's where the coaches earn their money. The ability to draw it up, the ability to get wide open looks when your team is inefficient from the field. By the way, they've been inefficient from the field a lot lately.
This isn't just about one player. It's about control, respect, and the future of the game. ESPN may control the mic, and the Fever may control the minutes, but the fans control the truth. And the truth is simple. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark a lot more than she needs them.